Each day, several individuals set out to their various places of work. Some go to their white-collar jobs, some to their blue-collar jobs, anything to earn an honest living. But a certain group of individuals set out each day to destroy people's lives. Just recently, a set of individuals identified as members of a notorious cybercrime group were arrested in parts of Spain. The police had caught these criminals after several months of following their trail and studying their sophisticated pattern. They weren't easy to track. So how did these criminals operate? Let's go through the details. For a major part of 2022, the Spanish police phones couldn't stop ringing. Many people were reporting one fraud case after another. It was a pandemic. The police were absolutely exhausted from hearing these reports and had no clue how to track down those terrible criminals. But light, they say, comes at the end of a tunnel. And indeed it does, because by the first day in December that year, they had dismantled a sophisticated gang of criminals in Barcelona, known as the Black Panthers. This criminal organization used advanced techniques to carry out their fraudulent activities. They weren't just a group of random men sitting around with their laptops trying to figure out ways to carry out their scams, but a network structure made up of 4 different but interconnected action categories. Each category used different methods, but it all resulted in the same result: ripping people of their hard-earned money. The major focus of the organization was to carry out bank scams at the national level. So they had a group that focused on getting information about the account through phishing, vishing, and smishing. We'll go into details about this in a bit. Then some were in charge of logistical needs and virtual identity theft. However, amidst all their various forms of achieving their goal, the most intriguing is the SIM swapping technique. The suspects the police investigated mentioned that they gained control of the victims' mobile phone numbers by creating a duplicate of their SIM cards fraudulently. To do this, they started by phishing. Phishing is the method of gaining several individuals' trust by sending them links via SMS while pretending to be from a reputable company. Once the person clicks on the link, they gain access to the person's information. With all this detail at hand, they moved on to the next stage, which is vishing. Vishing is the impersonation of the user's identity while reaching out to different telecommunication companies asking for certain details. Once the telecommunication companies provide the details, they went ahead to make duplicate SIM cards. Another vishing method they used was to reach out to local distributors of a company acting like the technical service department of the company. These local distributors would innocently send out details of the employees of their company, and the criminal organization immediately created duplicate SIM cards. With these SIM cards, the organizations acquired credit card numbers and national identity documents on several black markets on the dark web, and they stole from hundreds of people over a short period of time. The Spanish police had worked overtime to nab this group, and they thought the worst was over. But in early 2023, the phone began to ring again. Another group of fraudulent cybercriminals had begun working overtime. If you got into this part of the video and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do that now! Also, keep watching because we're just getting to the juicy part. Since the police had arrested the gang in Barcelona just a year before, they believed that the pattern of the new organization couldn't be that different from their predecessors, and decided to follow that trail. But unfortunately, it only led to a dead end. The investigation they thought would last only about a month lasted way longer. However, they remained relentless in their search, and by October 2023, their hard work paid off. The Spanish law enforcement officials arrested 34 members of a cybercrime organization that had stolen over 3 million euros from innocent victims. The authorities had carried out this raid across 16 locations in the province of Madrid, Malaga, Huelva, Alicante, and Murcia. Although they had been in different locations, they were a part of the same criminal organization. The police had found 4 expensive cars, 2 imitation firearms, 80,000 euros in cash, a katana sword, a baseball bat, a computer, and some electronic material that would be worth at least 2,000 euros. They also discovered a database with information on over 4 million people that the organization had collected over time. So how did this particular group carry out their fraudulent activities? Just like their predecessors, they had done a lot of smishing, vishing, and phishing, but they went a little further for authenticity. Their scams, which were conducted mostly through emails, SMS, and phone calls, involved the perpetrators disguising themselves as an electricity distribution company or bank to rob innocent victims. In some instances, they pretended to be a close contact, saying they needed money to get out of trouble. They would probably reach out through text, painting a picture of a very scary scenario. Since they have several details about you and know how this contact is related to you, it would be hard to guess that it's a scam. Then in the end, you send them money, which they will request you send immediately, and it might take several months to discover that you've been duped. Other methods they used was to take advantage of a member's position in a multinational technological firm to reroute some of the firm's products, like computers and electronic products, from its original destination to the criminal organization. But the most sophisticated method they used was to gain illegal access to customer databases at financial institutions, transfer some money to a few customers' accounts, and then contact them to inform them of a supposed incorrect loan deposit. They told the customers they had to return this money if they didn't want to be in debt, and provide them with a shady link to click on to aid the process. Once the link is clicked, they gain access to the victim's credentials, and in one clean sweep, they wipe their bank accounts clean. This cybercrime group was quite enterprising. Not only did they make use of the illegal information they acquired, they sold it to other criminal enterprises. They also sold fake bank websites, mass message programs, and any other tool that might aid the scamming process. The leaders of the network used false documentation, made use of spoofing techniques to hide their identity, and invested their profits in crypto assets, the agency said. The police said they won't stop until they get rid of every cybercrime group in the country, and they'll try to help the victims gain back what they lost. The police were truly working overtime because back in May, before they got caught up with these 34 criminals, they busted a phishing gang made up of 40 people. The law enforcement agency revealed that the group had made over 700,000 euros by involving in bank fraud, identity theft, money laundering, and document forgery. To make things more interesting, this phishing gang was just a small set of a larger criminal organization involved in bigger crimes. The organization, known as Trinitarios, is involved in drug dealing, stealing, and buying and selling of weapons. So the money from the phishing was used to fund the organization and pay lawyer fees for members in prison. Just like the group recently arrested, this subset of Trinitarios sent SMS to their victims pretending to be their bank. Ironically, they reclaimed the victim's account security is at stake, and the only way to protect it is by clicking on a malicious link. Once the link was clicked, they would be directed to a fake banking login page, where the victims would innocently fill in their details. And this would give the group's hackers access to their accounts, where they would immediately request loans and link the cards to virtual wallets on their phones. Across the globe, hundreds of cybercrime organizations had sprung up over the years, and once one is dismantled, another rises from the ashes. It's quite troubling. The amount of time and effort these criminals put into ruining people's lives is quite heartbreaking. But we must say the advanced technology they use to carry out their misdeeds is quite intriguing. Nonetheless, they will be punished duly once caught, and we hope the other perpetrators are caught before it's too late. So what are your thoughts about all that's been discussed? Kindly share in the comments section. Also, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay safe.